Big announcement today from Moonbirds. This is an NFT project that has been incredibly successful. And today, Moonbirds announced that they were going to modify the license that they provided to the initial buyers of their NFTs and, of course, to all subsequent buyers. So it's a fascinating issue because it involves copyright, licensing, ownership of the NFT, and then the linked digital asset, which the linked digital asset in this case, the thing that people are buying are the images. And in this case, the Moonbirds have been incredibly successful as a business model. So let's take a look at this and see what impact this is going to have on Moonbird NFT buyers, many of whom are sitting on Moonbirds worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. So here's the announcement as announced on blogdaddy.com. This is gaining traction. It's all over the internet at this point. And it says, in a serious change for the favored NFT challenge, Kevin Rose, founding father of Moonbirds, introduced on Twitter that each Moonbirds and oddities will have their license transferred to a Creative Commons 0 license. So we're going to take a look at what the original license was. We're going to take a look at what the Creative Commons 0 public domain license is, and it's actually just putting these copyright protected Moonbirds, which people bought, into the public domain without the consent, consultationship, or approval of any of the Moonbird NFT owners. So really fascinating what's going on here. So Kevin Rose makes the executive decision that he is going to unilaterally modify the copyright license that he provided to the Moonbird NFT purchasers. So let's take a look at this. The Creative Commons 0 license is a no rights reserved public domain license. We're going to take a look at that in a minute. What it means is that it enables creators, anyone in the world, to use these Moonbird images for any reason, for any purpose, commercially or otherwise. So no rights reserved on the Moonbirds by the copyright owner, which in this case is Kevin Rose's company, presumably. So it's a type of copyright that enables creators to waive authorized curiosity of their work and transfer it, so far as attainable, into the general public area. This means that anybody can now use Moonbird's NFT artwork freely with no copyright restrictions, and that includes commercial use. So anyone wanting, I can now go and take any of these Moonbirds and open up a restaurant with this Moonbird. I can add it to a commercial product. I can do whatever I want with it. So you might wonder, like, what do the NFT buyers think of all of this? And we're going to be finding out in the coming days. So let's take a look at the Moonbirds collection on OpenSea. 10,000 utility-enabled PFPs that feature a richly diverse and unique pool of rarity-powered traits. So if we take a look at some of these Moonbirds, you could see the prices are pretty high, right? So this is a very, very popular project. Now, in order to see more about Moonbirds, if I was going to buy a Moonbird, I would go onto OpenSea and I would go into the Moonbirds About section, and it's going to restate the 10,000 utility-enabled PFPs. But if I click on to the website, what I'm going to see is that there's some interesting things here that I might want to know if I was buying a Moonbird NFT on Original Mint or on the secondary market. All right, so let's take a look down here at some frequently asked questions. And the one that's relevant for today's show: what intellectual property rights do Moonbird holders receive? And what the Moonbird buyers were told is that they have full commercial art rights in the Moonbird they own. Full details coming soon. Owners of Moonbirds have full commercial art rights in the Moonbirds they own. So when you buy one of these NFTs, presumably you think you're getting some sort of exclusive right to be able to monetize the linked digital asset that you're purchasing. And in this case, this is one of the projects that actually allows you to monetize that Moonbird for whatever purposes that you want. And if you take a look at the terms of service, if you were to scroll down to the very bottom and see terms of sale, it would take you to this page. And so terms of sale are going to be presumably the contract between Moonbirds and at least the initial buyers. And you're going to see some language where they say they don't have a contractual relationship with any subsequent buyers. Whether or not a court would hold that up or not is to be seen. But let's take a look at what the terms of your purchase of a Moonbirds happen to be. The provisions that are relevant here for today's show are the highlighted portions here. When each Moonbirds NFT is sold for the first time, the agreement of sale is between Proof, the company that runs Moonbirds, and the initial purchaser. If the initial purchaser decides to sell a Moonbirds NFT, secondary sale, then Proof is not a party to any agreement between the applicable buyer, seller, or facilitator of the secondary sale. So this is lawyer language. Lawyers obviously protect the business. This is highly restrictive, highly controversial language inserted by lawyers to make it so that you can never sue Moonbirds if you're a subsequent buyer. Now again, whether or not a court would say that that term is one that would be reasonable and therefore upheld hasn't been tested yet. There may be other theories of liability by current owners of Moonbirds on the secondary market against the company, against Proof. All to be seen. We don't know the answer to most of these questions because none of this has been tested in courts on any of these NFT projects. So if you're an owner of a Moonbirds NFT, a collector, so that's how you're defined in the agreement, if a collector sells or transfers an NFT to another collector, then you as collector represent warrant that you will notify the subsequent collector of these terms and require the subsequent collector to comply with these terms. Well, again, I said lawyers were involved here. I'm not sure exactly how smart these lawyers were, because to say you're not a party to the agreement, but then require any subsequent sale to be told that they're subject to these terms, well, of course there's a contract between Proof and subsequent buyers under this language, despite this language. Terrible terms of service on many of these projects. Another example here. The collector license, this is what you're getting in addition to the token. You're also getting ownership or a license to the linked digital asset, the Moonbird that you purchased with the certain rarity traits that were appealing to you. So the collector license, which is set forth below, we're going to get to, will automatically transfer to the subsequent collector, and such other collector will be deemed the collector. For the purposes of these NFTs, the collector license to the underlying art and will be subject to these terms. So again, no contract between Proof and any secondary sale buyer, but secondary sale buyer, you are subject to these terms. All right, so let's get down to the interesting part, which is the rights to the Moonbirds, the NFTs you own, okay? Rights to the Moonbirds NFTs you own. There's the token, which is the smart contract. It's got a URI, which links out to a digital file. That is the artwork. So the token is one of the assets that you're buying. The linked digital asset, the artwork, you're typically going to get some sort of license or an assignment to from the project owner. So let's take a look at what you got here. So not surprising, you've got unlimited personal use rights, essentially, royalty-free, use, copy, display the digital art represented by your Moonbirds NFT. And so that's easy. But what about commercial use? So subject to your continued compliance with these terms, Proof grants you a worldwide license to use, copy, and display the art represented by the Moonbirds NFT for the purpose of creating derivative works based upon the art. Commercial use. So when you bought your NFT, your Moonbird NFT, you're going to be able to use it personally, but you also get this right to make commercial use of your NFT, similar to what happened with Bored Apes, right? So if I have a particular Bored Ape number 3342, I'm the only one that can take that Bored Ape and do a license agreement with the beer company to put it on a beer can. I, as the NFT owner, get this incredible value with a project that allows me to make commercial use, to monetize, to license, to make money off of the linked digital asset, off of the artwork. So when you first bought it, you were told you could make virtually unlimited commercial use of your NFT linked digital asset. So that would include selling merchandise, t-shirts, displaying copies of the art, etc. So this is the contract now that follows these NFTs and linked digital assets around forever. One of the interesting things here is that Moonbirds is saying, no, we're going to unilaterally modify your license agreement. We're not asking you permission. We're not consulting with you. We're not getting any agreement for you. We're just going to unilaterally change the contract into a Creative Commons Zero license. And this is essentially a license that's no copyright reserved, right? So it effectively means that the project, in this case for Moonbirds, has relinquished all copyright and similar rights to your Moonbird, okay? And put those into the public domain. So anyone can use your Moonbird for any purpose that they want, right? So that's a major modification. And the thinking here by Moonbirds and other companies, other projects is, you know what? Giving people more rights is kind of a Web3 kind of vibe, right? And adds more value to the NFT. And that's great when they're granting commercial rights, but when they take and they say, but anyone can now use the linked digital image that you bought, that you thought you were getting some sort of exclusivity to, that's a big change. And whether or not the community is going to support this, whether or not some in the community are going to challenge the ability of the project to unilaterally change their license agreement remains to be seen. One of the interesting things here is what is almost always included in a license agreement, which is the word exclusive or non-exclusive. So interestingly, this section does not say that you have a personal use right that's exclusive, that you're the only one that can use it. Now, nor does it say that it's non-exclusive. So it's completely silent on the issue of exclusivity. And the context of the agreement is probably going to determine whether or not an exclusive license can be inferred, which is not an easy thing to do in a exclusive license agreement, to infer a term, but still possible that a court would read exclusivity into this contract. Same with the commercial use license. Subject to your continued compliance with these terms, proof grants you a worldwide license to. This is where we usually see the word exclusive or non-exclusive, completely silent on exclusivity. I will guarantee you that 99.9% of the people who bought Moonbird NFTs believe that the specific NFT that they were buying that linked out to the specific Moonbird with the specific rarity traits was theirs and theirs alone. And as long as they complied with the terms, that they were the only ones who had rights in that Moonbird. So if I happen to buy number 2825, I think, boy, I'm the owner of this NFT, and that's going to give me the ability to control how it's used. Now, your NFT is now in the public domain. You can show provenance that you are the owner of the token, and that token is linked to this NFT, but it doesn't give you any sort of enforcement rights. It gives you, from the project's point of view, what they're simply suggesting is that by creating a system by which anyone can use NFT 2825, that there will be added value to this NFT because only one person will have provenance over it. Only one person will be able to say, yeah, but I own it, right? They could be right, they could be wrong. It's certainly very Web3 what they're doing, but does this $29,000 value hold up if anyone and their brother can put this on a t-shirt, if anyone and their brother can make a TV show out of it, if anyone and their brother can go ahead and add this to a beer can, right? So that's going to be the question. We don't know the answers, but it's very interesting development today. I love the innovation in the space. So I am all in favor of pushing on the edges. We do not know how courts are going to interpret what is the wild, wild west of Web3. This big leap by Moonbirds to say we're changing the terms of sale of your Moonbird without your consent and turn it into something completely different. How a court would interpret that remains to be seen. Whether or not people will care remains to be seen. Whether or not this is really just great Web3 F the lawyers stuff remains to be seen. My name's Enrico. We'll see you next time.